Good morning.
Happy birthday to you. Why are you working on your birthday?
The world continues.
The world continues. That is correct. Work on your birthday because for most of us, it's just another day.
Yep.
I do know an odd amount of people who take their birthdays off though. Like just don't go to work on their birthday. And to me, I'm like, that's like a waste of a day off. Like you could plan like an actual vacation and like really take time off. But
Yeah.
it's good.
Oh, let me.
How you could
Yes,
you're
I'm
gonna
trying to COVID birthdays this year.
can't really do a lot, but that's all right. It's not like we do a lot anyways for most birthdays. We tend to like push it off to like a bigger events.
Oh yeah, no, we're the birthday people. Like I've done birthday in on the Inca Trail. I've done a birthday in the Himalayas.
Oh wow.
I've taken him to Mexico, but it unfortunately didn't fall exactly on his birthday. Yeah, so it's our birthday. Let's go somewhere.
Seattle, Las Vegas.
Yeah, Vegas. Lemmy, come here. That's great, buddy.
That's awesome. Ours are hard because ours all fall right around holidays. Mine is obviously today, right after Halloween. My son's is November 28th. So it falls, last year it was on Thanksgiving, his birthday was. My husband's is December 10th. So it's just like a couple weeks before Christmas. And then my daughter's is January 2nd. So we have problems with birthdays because of when they fall. But we're big Disney people and we have just gone. We used to go the week after Thanksgiving, we'd go to Disney and call it all of our birthdays. Like
That's cool.
we're doing all of our birthdays and we're doing it this week.
That's cool.
Yeah. So we've done things, but it's hard just because of how just the timing of them when they fall. It's a hard time to kind of celebrate, but it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
When did you cut your hair off, Deborah?
Have you guys
I did, yeah.
have you guys been to see the new Star Wars?
No, well, my husband went. So my husband's a huge Disney fan too, which sounds really weird to say. He's not a weirdo or anything, but he loves Disney. He actually went. He had a team offsite that was in Los Angeles, and so he drove down.
Okay.
He drove down. He normally shows up the day before so he can like get himself together to run the offsite. So he drove down the day he got in. Drove down to Anaheim and went and saw it. So he's been.
So he thought about the rest of the family.
Yes, he went without it.
Yeah, makes sense.
I was so mad. I was like, "Damn it! How dare you!"
Yeah.
It's okay. I've gone to Disney World a few times now to do some of the runs. So yeah, I took him. Last time I did the Dopey Challenge, which is freaking ridiculous, but it was fun. But
What is this? What's the Dopey Challenge?
Let's see. You run all 4 days, so they have like basically a marathon weekend. So on Thursday you're running the 5K, Friday you're running the 10K, Saturday you're running the half marathon, and Sunday you're running the full marathon.
Oh, good Lord! Why?
Why would you do that?
Why would you do that?
And then you walk funny for a week.
Oh God! You don't need to walk anymore, do you? No more walking.
Actually, I did. After the full marathon, I can't remember where he went to Harry Potter Land. He like bailed and went to Universal for a while.
Don't blame
and
him.
I went and took a long walk. I was just like, I gotta get this fluid moving in my legs. Like if I stop, that's it. I'm not gonna
If I sit down, I'm never standing up again. Oh, good Lord. Wow. Well, Congrats on doing that though. That's a feat. No doubt a feat. That's insane. Goodness. Wow.
And I dressed up. It was fun.
You dressed up?
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. What'd you go as?
I had a different little outfit for each day. Like I had a bunch of like glittery running skirts that I put over my shorts.
Yeah.
I had Maleficent, the Evil Queen, Cheshire Cat, and I can't remember what the fourth one was, but it's stuff that was easy to run in.
Yeah. Just like that's like they always do those tutu skirts and stuff whenever they're yeah. Very good. Very good. Cool. What's up, Christina? Good to see you. How are you? All right. I figured we'd do low back today, unless somebody is needing something. Do y'all is there a request?
Low back sounds good to me for deadlifts.
Everything hurts, so I'm
everything. Was it deadlifts and strongman yesterday?
It was deadlifts Thursday, and then we had deadlifts as part of the warm up yesterday in strongman.
Okay, so all the back things.
Yeah, we're doing like sled pushes and heavy farmers carries, and then whatever strongman implement we wanted.
Okay.
It was fast. It was basically this sled.
Go quick.
Good time.
Okay. Yeah, sounds like it. Okay. Anything for you, Christina? You good?
Back sounds great. Yeah, my massage on Friday, he was like, I can't get your scalings to release. I was like, well, deadlifts are Thursdays, and I went really heavy, so I could probably use it.
Yeah. Thursday. Oh no, Thursday was deadlift, wasn't it? That Thursday. Did you feel your neck after the deadlifts?
There it goes. No, no, it always feels better after the workout. For sure.
Okay.
It's when I wake up in the morning. I wake up in pain every morning. My shoulder still.
Your shoulder still. Okay. Okay,
but
cool.
I think it's all connected. Like my back is just all really locked up right now, I think.
Everything's tight. Okay, cool. All right. Low back it is then. We'll just run with it. All right. I would grab a block and a strap if you don't have one. Let me pin my video.
I have 2 dogs.
All the dogs on top of you. It's a great way to do recovery. Yeah. Okay. So have at least one block and some type of strap. And if you don't have an actual strap, you can always use an elastic band or strap or belt or whatever you have accessible to you. If you have balls, we will use them toted and then we'll use them untoted as well. So have a range, a peanut ball and 2 small lacrosse balls, or you can just make it work with just the peanut or whatever. All right, let's check, recheck. Since we were talking about deadlift, let's check, recheck our deadlift movement. Why not? We normally do squat, but might as well do deadlift. Okay, so come into your stance, pretend like you're going down to pick something up, and then stand it back up as if you are actually grabbing a weight and deadlifting it. Notice what's working. Notice your range as you hit that bottom. What's stopping you from going further? For me here, my hamstrings are what kind of feel the pull. So go up and down a few times so that you feel like you've worked out the movement. And then just for fun, because we feel it more and it's a little more visual, do a couple squats. In case you're like, deadlift's fine, doesn't really feel anything. Go ahead and take a few squats just to give yourself 2 ranges to look at. And then when you're ready, I'm gonna do a couple more just to, okay, we will grab our balls, our lovely balls. We're gonna start with them toted. We're gonna do it hard on the shoulders, but it feels really good. Okay, we're gonna take the balls, you're gonna take them vertically, and you're gonna bring them just to the base of the rib cage or horizontal to the spine so that they're kind of hugging the spine. You're gonna set the balls there, and the hardest part about this is the fact that your arms kind of need to be propping you up. We're not gonna be here for super long, and if you wanna just
lay down and make it work from laying down, you're welcome to. For me, this is a bit more comfortable, but it is a little bit on the shoulders. You're gonna roll the ball up and down, just kind of right along those erectors, going up and down the spine here, covering the full surface of the low back. So try to go all the way down to the top of the pelvis there and all the way back up. I'm a hyperextender, so I can feel as I get closer to my pelvis, those L4, L5 vertebrae are like, oh yeah, that's good, that feels nice. You can tell they need a little bit of love. Maybe you're the opposite and towards the top, towards that bra strap, rib cage area, it feels a little more tense to you, but feel that out. And then we will let that go. Grab the balls. We're going to take them now vertical on the right side of the spine, keeping them in their totes. We'll take them just to the right. And we're going to clear out just this right side. For me, these balls fit nicely kind of right between my rib cage and my pelvis. They cover the full surface area of my low back. So as I swish my hips side to side, that whole low back is getting cleared out. If you're using a smaller set of balls or a single ball, you can just kind of zigzag up and down, covering that full surface area. And once again, noticing where your tension is. I can still feel that mine is lying a little bit lower today, closer to my pelvis. Particularly on this right side. And then we'll take it over to the left, same thing, round two. Dock those balls in, right beneath the rib cage, above the pelvis, vertical to the spine, shifting the hips left and right. And notice that side to side comparison. For me, my right low back feels a lot more tense than my left side. That's not unusual for me, but it is something I always kind of keep an eye on. We'll do just a couple more swishes just because this feels really good today. Like I could just hang out here. And then we'll pull the balls out. Avoid sitting up if you can. We'll just detote the balls or reach for your two separate balls, whatever you have, so that you can now separate them. We're now going to take these right on either side of the spine, just beneath the rib cage. So the top half of the low back is where we're going to be, just beneath the rib cage. Ladies, it's probably an inch or two beneath your bra strap. Set the balls in place. They're hugging the spine, one on each side. And I'm going to let my butt come to the ground here. And I'm going to take a few breaths. And as I breathe, I'm going to attempt to press my low back, press those low ribs into the balls as I breathe, feeling that expansion through the backside of the rib cage, expansion through the backside of the low back, using my breath to kind of internally massage or internally lengthen those low back muscles. As I breathe in, feeling that expansion through the backside of my body. Taking just a few breaths, give yourself a chance to kind of explore it. It is, if you haven't tried it before, it can be kind of frustrating, like, nope, that's not going to work. But give yourself the opportunity to really attempt to feel the rib cage moving backwards, the low back expanding as you breathe. As usual, it's a practice, not a perfect, so you don't have to get it the first time you try it, but it's worth exploring. We'll take about 2 more breaths. And then we'll begin to move the hips. We'll begin to swish the hips left and right, right to left, kind of underlining the bottom side of the rib cage. As I do this, I can feel that my right side is a lot more locked up than my left. I like to get a little view of what's happening in my tissues. You might be the opposite. Maybe your left is more tight than your right. Maybe it's like, both sides can use this. We'll take about one more little traverse outwards. And then we're going to bring the balls down. So now we're coming down to just above the lip of the pelvis, kind of that L4, L5 area. The balls should come just on the low back, hugging the spine, one on each side, just above the lip of the pelvis. Setting the butt down on the ground, coming into that extension. And we're going to play with the pelvis here for a moment. So just as we did with the breath, we're going to lift the pelvis up, press into the balls, and then slowly let the pelvis fall back down to the ground. Trying to create a little flexion and extension at these lower vertebrae. Trying to get a sense of your pelvis moving separately from the rest of your spine. Can you feel that pelvis move? Take about 2 more. And then we'll come into the swishing of the hips. We'll swish the hips left to right. Those balls will roll outwards. You're kind of outlining the top portion of the pelvis now. Once the balls get too far away from each other, just pick them up, bring them back through center. Go for about 2 more little traverses, letting the balls go from inside to out. And then we're going to take that ball on the left side out, and we're just going to stick with the ball on the right. We're going to go for that deep low back muscle, our QL. And so you're going to bring that ball about 1/3 of the way between the spine and the side body. If you think about where, I think Jen calls them the speed bumps of your spine, if you think about where those are, you're going to come just outside of them. That's where the ball's going to set up, just above the pelvis, but just outside of those speed bumps. And then you're going to lay down on your back. We're on our right side, so our right knee is going to flop open, which is going to tilt the pelvis and drive that ball in. It should be going at about a 45-degree angle towards the spine, more or less. And as you're here, keep in mind everybody's body is different. So feel free to adjust. Like, I'm not quite on the right spot, so I'm going to move the ball in just a little bit and down just a little bit, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's the spot. That's where it needs to be. So don't be locked into wherever you're at. Feel free to move that ball around just a little bit so you find a spot that's good for you. And depending on how intense this feels, will depend on how much movement you take. If this feels super intense, just hang out and breathe. There's no need to move. You just deadlifted yesterday. This might feel extremely intense, in which case just hang out. No need to move much. I can feel this shooting kind of into my inner thigh. Feels kind of good. That's me hitting a little bit of my psoas, as that QL and psoas kind of sit right on top of each other. So you might get some weird referral things going on. Don't let those get into your mind too much. Just kind of notice if they're happening. And then we can play with it. For me, I like to do a little up and down scrub. So I'll dig my left heel in and I will scrub, sending my body to the back of the room, to the front of the room. Just a little up and down scrub, digging that heel down. To me, that feels really good. But once again, if this is super intense, there is no need to move. You don't have to do anything. You can just hang out and breathe. Sometimes that's the best option. But if the scrub feels good, go ahead and work with it for a little bit. And then I'm going to do a little bit of contract relax. So I like to think of it as like a little alligator chomp out of the ball. So I'm pulling my pelvis to my rib to the pelvis, taking a little bite around the ball, closing down that right side body. I'll hold that contraction and then I will release and try to find a little bit of length there. Maybe the ball can sink in a little bit further. And then we can try that again. Ribs to pelvis, pelvis to ribs, pull them towards one another. Feel that little chomp occur. Feel the activation, hold for a breath, and then let it release. Can you let the ball sink in a little deeper? And then you can make your decision. Do you want to come back to the scrub? Do you want to do another contract relax? We'll just hang out with it for another couple breaths, about 10, 20 seconds. And then we'll let that go. We will pull that ball out. We're going to take the ball over to the other side. Same thing, round two. So if you found it on that right side, chances are you can find it pretty easily on the left. Once again, you're just above the pelvis, right outside of those speed bumps, those erectors that live along the spine. Once I feel like I'm in a decent spot, I will drop that left knee open. This is going to angle the pelvis, so let that right side of the pelvis pop up off the ground. Ball should angle in towards the spine at about a 45-degree angle, and then adjust as necessary. For me, this left side is not near as intense as my right, but I do feel that there's a little something there. It's in a slightly different position, but there is something there that's a little bit cranky. So I'm going to take a moment and just take a few breaths, breathing into it, getting a sense for how this feels on this side. And depending on how this feels for you will depend on if you're going to add movement. Same as the other side. If you wanted to come into those up and down scrubs, you can dig that right heel into the ground, create a little vertical shear, up, down, up, down. It's not a huge muscle, so it doesn't need to be a huge movement. And then depending on how this side is feeling, maybe you want to come into that contract relax. Once again, you pull the rib cage towards the pelvis to the rib cage, contracting and side bending that muscle. Hold the contraction for a breath. And then let it go, let it relax. Can you let the ball sink in any deeper? And then we'll do it again. Pull the rib cage towards the pelvis towards the rib cage. Feel that contraction occur. See if you can actually feel the contraction happening around the ball. Try to connect with that muscle. And then let it relax, let it go. And then you can make the decision. Maybe you want to do that contract relax again. Maybe you want to come back to the scrub. Kind of feel it out for yourself. What feels good for you today? What your body's calling for. We'll take just another 10, 20 seconds, another couple breaths here. And then we will let that go. Pull the ball out. Don't sit up right away. Give yourself a moment on your spine. Feel how your spine's interacting with the ground. Take a few breaths, deep inhales, slow, steady exhales. We'll rock our knees side to side real quick, just a little windshield wiper. Try to make sure that low back, those are rather deep postural muscles, so make sure that low back is ready to activate before we sit up. Roll onto your side, press yourself up. And we'll take it all the way up to a stand. We'll come back to our deadlift position as well as to our squats. So once you're standing, go ahead and do a few deadlifts. Just straight down, straight back up. Pretend as if you're picking up weight. For me personally, it feels a lot smoother. Even my hamstrings don't feel as tight at the bottom. I have a bit more range of motion. And once you've done a few rounds of deadlifts, take it into a few rounds of squats. My squat feels a bit more even now. My left is a bit more engaged. Notice how it's feeling for you. If anything changed. Fantastic. All right. Let's stay in our standing since we're already here, and we'll do kind of our ragdoll low back circles. So coming up to a stand, you can take your hands across your chest. The goal here is to get those side bends in, but we are going to bend to the right. Then you're going to take that left shoulder and you'll drop that left shoulder forward. So you're coming into a bit of a ragdoll. You can let your hands come down. Small bend in the knees. Take it all the way over to the left. And once you hit the left, that right shoulder is going to stack. So make sure you bring that right shoulder up, get the side bend, and then come all the way back up. And we'll go through it again. Bend over to the left. Right shoulder will hang down. Arms can hang as well. Find that flexion through the low spine as you go over to the opposite side. Once you hit kind of your end range, recross the arms, stack the right shoulder on the left, find that side bend, and then bring it all the way back up through center. We'll do one more going this way, bend to the side, drop the shoulder down, ragdoll through center, stack the shoulders and lift, and then we'll go the opposite direction. Lean over to the left, roll that right shoulder down, ragdoll through center. You can go faster or slower than me. It's completely up to you. Don't forget to stack that right shoulder before you stand up. And take it again. We'll go through one more time. Going this direction. And then bring it up. Excellent. All right, we're going to come down onto the ground for some twisting of our low spine to try to get those twisting muscles activating. We're going to use our block for this. I know we've done this before. It's our low block twisty thingy. That's the professional name, low back block twisty thingy. Grabbing the block between the knees to keep your knees nice and stable. Arms can come out to a T. Now, your goal here is to keep the knees stacked. So as you come to the side, you don't want those knees to flop apart. The block is there to kind of keep you honest. Keep your feet nice and engaged, arms nice and relaxed. As you twist to the right, keep the knees stacked. Only go so far that you can relatively keep the shoulders relaxed on the ground. Exhale, pull through center. Inhale, twist the opposite direction. Only go so far that your shoulders can stay relatively relaxed. Exhale, pull through center. Inhale, twist the opposite way. So getting a nice big twist, but an honest twist. Let the pelvis stay nice and stable. Make the low back do the work to pull you back through center as you go side to side. As usual, you can go faster or slower than I go.
But inhale as you twist, exhale as you pull and activate through center. This is a low back workout, so you should feel it in your low back. Or feel some work in your low back there. Let's go one more each direction. Once you've gone one more each direction, we will place the feet through center, keep the block where it is, and we're going to come into some bridge lifts. We'll let the arms be involved here. On the inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms overhead, squeeze at the top, squeeze the block, squeeze the butt, get some extension of the spine, and then roll the spine back down to the ground. Let the arms come to rest by your side. Let's do that again. Inhale, lift the hips, reach the arms overhead. Actually find some extension of the spine, squeeze the butt at the top, and then exhale, roll the spine down onto the ground. Let's go for one more. Inhale, lift, arms reach overhead, squeeze at the top. Exhale, roll the spine down, arms come to rest by the sides. All right. We're going to come back to the low back again. We're just going to up level what we just did. So your choice here. If you know that doing just this with the knees bent is hard, stick with the knees bent. If you'd like to up level it, you can straighten the opposite leg. So I'm going to go to the right, so my left leg is going to straighten. So as I move over to the right, I've now added more weight by straightening that leg. And exhale, pull back through center. Switch which leg is straight. I'm going to go to the left, my right leg is straight. Reaching away, still keeping those knees nice and stacked. Exhale, pull through center. Inhale as you twist. Taking it side to side, nice and slowly. Once again, this is an up level, so if it's too much, you are welcome to go back to the original with both knees bent. Nothing wrong with that. It is low back work. So as I mentioned before, you should feel something in your low back. Don't let that scare you as long as it's not painful. Looking really good. Try not to kick each other, Ed and Deborah. Maybe one more each side if your back feels up for it. All right, when you are all done, all evened off, we will bring our knees back through center. We're gonna keep the block there again. We're gonna come back to those bridge lifts, but we're gonna do kind of asymmetrical bridge lifts. What we're gonna do is you're going to internally try to roll along the right side of the spine and then roll down along the left side of the spine. So as I roll up, I'm gonna try and keep my right side nice and soft. My left glute is going to activate, and I'm going to attempt to roll up into the bridge lifts one vertebra at a time, but it'll be along the right side of my spine. And then as I get to the top, my right glute will activate, my left glute will relax, and I'm going to try and roll my spine down one vertebra at a time, but I'll feel the left side of my spine roll along the ground. And then I'll switch. I'll get to the bottom, I'll activate my left glute and begin to roll up along the right side of my spine, maybe one vertebra at a time. Activate my right glute, let my left side relax, and roll down along the left side of my spine. So rolling along one side of the spine and the other. It might feel rather awkward, especially if you have trouble activating one glute, one side over the other, but something to explore. We'll take it one more time this direction, and then we'll take it about 3 or 4 times going the opposite direction. So letting the opposite side bring you up, and then the opposite side bringing you down, basically reversing the spiral. Trying to get a sense of where you can feel the individual vertebra lifting up off the ground. Maybe one side feels a lot more sticky and tight, moves more as a clump. For me, that's my right side. Feels more like a clump when it moves. My left side has a lot more articulation. So trying to piece that apart, perhaps. And then once you've finished about 3 each direction, we will just reset with a bilateral glute bridge. So both sides lift up, arms can reach overhead, and then slowly lower yourself down. Just giving yourself a nice reset, both sides working together. Excellent. All right, we'll take that block out, set the block off to the side. Let's get some movement in the upper back for this one. We are going to bend through our left leg, send our right leg straight. This is our upper spine twist. That right arm is going to come overhead. So the right leg straight, right arm overhead, left arm comes out to a T. I'm going to press through my left foot. That's going to twist the pelvis. Now my knee is going to stay pointing straight up to the ceiling. Left arm's going to reach across the body. Nice big twist. Knee is still pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Inhale as you open up. Exhale as you find your twist yet again. Moving in and out of it. Playing with the reach of the arm. As you go, take about 5 to 6 on each side. Knee points straight up to the ceiling the entire time. Try not to let it dip in. Locking that pelvis in place looks great. Once you've done about 5 on the first side, we'll switch to the other side. Same thing, round 2. Left leg straight, left arm straight, right knee bent, right arm out to a T. Knees stay straight up through the ceiling for the entire movement. Once you've done about 5 or 6, we will call that done. Getting some nice stretching through the low back. Fantastic. Once you're done with those, we'll bring it back up to a stand. Let's do one more little standing movement here. So for this standing movement, we are going to attempt to isolate the pelvis. So we did our low back movements, which was here, essentially. So now we're going to find our pelvis. So go ahead and actually touch your pelvis, locate it so you know where it's at, because we know that particularly as Americans, we don't move our pelvis a lot unless you're a dancer. Moving your pelvis is a little bit foreign. So we're going to begin with the easiest, which is going to be, I'm going to try to tuck this in so that you get a little better view. You'll get to see my stomach, but it's okay. So here's my pelvis, the top of my pelvis. And I'm going to start by bending the knees and just coming into a tuck and untuck of the pelvis while standing. And seeing if I can isolate that as much as possible. I'm reaching down through my tailbone and then cupping forward, reaching down through my pubic bone. So it is a tuck and untuck, but I'm avoiding letting the rest of my spine get involved. I'm trying to just isolate the movement of that pelvis, finding the nice rocking sensation. It might feel sticky today, specifically if you've done a lot of deadlifts this week. It might feel kind of clunky, and that's okay, but attempt to kind of piece it out as you tuck and untuck. Okay, and then we'll let that go, shake that off. And now here's kind of the hard one.
So here's the top of my pelvis. I'm gonna roll these down just so you can see. There's right at the top of my pelvis is right where the top of my pants are. And I'm attempting, knees bent, to hike on one hip and then hike on the other hip. Now I'm not side bending over towards it. I am hiking a hip and hiking the other hip. My feet are staying flat on the ground. However, if this is hard for you to find, you can elevate a heel and then elevate a heel. Elevate your heel, elevate your heel. It's a little hip hike side to side. Once you have it, if you have it with elevating your heel, see if you can take the heel out of it and just find that elevation side to side. For me, I notice I want to extend as I do it, so I'm attempting to correct that and bring myself back through center, taking the extension out of it as I hike my hip left to right. Yours can be very slow. Notice if your shoulders want to get involved. Do your feet want to do funky things? Is your head trying to make it work for you? Notice what other things are happening instead of just letting your pelvis hike to the left, hike to the right. Okay. All that alcohol last night is really showing, and that's just gonna have to be a thing. Okay, so now we're coming into kind of connecting the dots. So we're going to tuck under, lift right, send back, lift left. So you're trying to create, it's a little hula belly dance as you go. So a little kind of circle of the pelvis. Yours can be, no, I really have to think about it. I'm gonna tuck under, I'm gonna lift, I'm gonna extend, I'm gonna lift, and really kind of boxy, that's okay. If you've got the boxy down, you can begin to try and isolate just the pelvis moving around in a circle. Can you separate the pelvis from the rest of the spine? And it's okay if the answer is no, not today. A lot of my spine has to move to make this happen. That's perfectly acceptable, but something to think about, particularly as all of you like to lift heavy things. Do notice what else wants to work to make it happen. My shoulders like to hike up on me as I'm doing it, so try to let those shoulders relax. Maybe go just one more direction. If you haven't reversed directions, I don't know if I said that, but reverse directions, if you haven't, can you make it go the other way? And do notice how it makes your low back feel to kind of find your pelvis circling. And when you're frustrated and done with it, just be frustrated and done with it. It's okay. You can be finished when you like to be finished. Okay, now that we've found our pelvis, let's come back to our deadlift and our squat and see how that feels. So find your deadlift movement now that you have your pelvis, and see if you can notice any difference in your deadlift. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Maybe it's just like, yeah, it feels about the same, and that's okay. Maybe you already know where your pelvis is pretty well. And then take it into a squat. Take a couple squats, see how that feels. Nice, Christina. Looks good. Nice, Ed. Ed's got some depth there. Or did he just hurt himself? It's hard to tell. Okay. Looks like he went really low on that one. I was like, oh, that was a deep squat, Ed. But now he's like, oh no, I did too much. Okay. All right. Do we have wall space? Does everybody have a small piece of wall they can use? Yes. Christina, you got wall space? Okay, so we're gonna do a really big kind of side body opener. I'm going to turn it, let me see, this way. It's all reversed now, so it's confusing for me. What you're gonna do is you're gonna find yourself at a wall with one hand on the wall. I've got this weird rug here, so I'm gonna move it. The outside leg is going to go back, but then it's going to go across the body. So I'm not going way across like I'm doing a curtsy squat. I'm just going back and across a little bit. And I'm setting the tops of my toes on the ground. So I'm kind of getting an outer toe pull. It's a little bit of an outer toe pull, as well as like, I can already start to feel that I'm getting some extension on this right side of my body. If this hurts the foot, just stick a pad underneath there. You can stick a towel or something underneath your foot if it does hurt. From here, my outer arm's gonna come up and I'm gonna reach over, attempting to go fingertip to fingertip. With my foot like this, I'm not gonna make it all the way. So I'm just gonna kind of lightly touch my fingertips to the wall. For me, I'm avoiding extending backwards because that's what my body wants to do here. I'm doing my best to hug my rib cage down and force the lateral line of my body to really open up. Once you get in the position, take a few breaths. Notice once again, are you flaring the ribs out? Are you like me? Are you extending backwards? Maybe you're flexing forwards. Try to make it as true a lateral bend as possible. Breathe into it, particularly focusing on the side rib cage. Can you focus your breath into that right side rib cage, into that right side belly, and make that right side active? And then we'll let that go, relax, come out of it. And then we'll switch sides. So I'm gonna turn around. You'll get to see my butt now. But that outside leg, once again, is gonna come across. I'm coming into that outer toe pull. And then my left arm is gonna reach up and over, and I'm too far away from the wall. So I'm gonna scoot a little bit closer and lift up. Once again, I'm avoiding extending, I'm avoiding flexing. I'm attempting to really focus on opening my left side body. Breathing into the left rib cage, breathing into the left side of the belly. Trying to open up that lateral line as much as possible. Excellent. And then we'll release that, let that go. Let's come back, try your deadlift and your squat one more time, as long as you're not gonna hurt yourself. Ed, I'm looking at you. Air squatting, your knee goes out or something. I don't know, don't do it. Notice how that changed it, if it did. Christina, try not to flare your ribs at your bottom. So you're really coming into extension, try to tuck that rib cage under just a little bit. There you go, that's perfect. Beautiful. Then do a couple squats. Looks good. Ed is finding some depth over there. I don't know if that's new or he's like always had that depth, but that's looking good, man. Very good. Very nice, Christina. All right, guys, good job today. Questions, comments, always let me know if you have requests for next week. I believe the schedule, just so you guys have a heads up, I'm covering for Jen next Sunday because she's going to Hawaii. So recovery is going to be pushed back for the next 2 weeks to 9, let me think, do the math in my head. I believe 9:30. It'll still be virtual, but I'll be teaching it from the gym because I'm going to teach the 2 morning classes and then teach recovery. So recovery will be pushed to 9:30 for the next 2 weekends while I'm covering for Jen. So just a heads up, I will make sure Jen and Travis send out an email to remind everybody, but since y'all are here, I figured I'd tell you now so that it doesn't get forgotten. But yeah, have a good week. I hope you had a good Halloween and we'll see you around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Enjoy your
Happy birthday
birthday.
again.
Thank you. Y'all have a good one. Appreciate it.
That is
Bye.
Ed's natural squatting.
That is his what?
That's just how he squats. It's
That's just-
disgusting. I'm like the fucking Tin Man and can barely like get down there, and he's like poop. It's crazy.
Except he was coming up flailing his arms. I'm like, holy crap, Ed. What? He only
I
squats
need a barbell to
deeply.
hold on to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
barbell keeps you balanced. Have a good
Have a
one.
good day.
It's good to see you.
Bye.
Bye.